Welcome back to the Circuit Revival. We're starting a new series today that I'm going to call Lottery Fixes. Basically, what I've done is I made the foolish mistake of giving my credit card to my wife and let her run wild and buy faulty stuff off eBay, and we'll see if we can fix it. So I have no idea what these things are. They're all going to be a surprise to me when they turn up. I don't know quite what the faults are. If I get stuck with some of them, I might just need to ask her whether the description says anything. But I guess we'll start with whatever this is here. Okay. So this is, if the box is right, a Powkiddy RGB20s. Which is... looks like a little handheld games console. That's cool. So, comes with some stickers, a little thing, and here it is. It's got some triggers on the back. Memory card, 2 memory cards, an on button. DC power in via USB, OTG, I don't know what that stands for. So obviously the first thing I do is just double check the USB pins at the bottom, just make sure I'm not going to short anything out. We'll try turn it on. Okay, so it loads up with just some lines. We'll zoom in, see if we can see what this says. So there's some words, and it's just turned off. Will it turn back on? So 3.63V, something voltage, voltage. And then it turns it off, and it's got a bit of a click to it as it turns off. I don't know if you guys can hear that. We'll just come back out again. Try that again. Just wait. Yeah, not quite as loud there. So, well, it says voltage low. So we'll start with the simple thing. I'll pull my USB-C cable out. I'll get my ammeter and see if it's giving us a voltage at all. Okay, here we go. So I've got my digital ammeter. Power bank and a USB-C cable, and we'll see what this is saying, see if it's taking a charge. Could just be that the battery is depleted, so plug this into here, this into the end, and then we'll plug it into DC. So you can see on our ammeter it gives us a reading, so we'll zoom in and see what this does when we plug it in. So it gives us a charging light and 0.82 on the amp draw. At 4.34 volts. And that seems fairly normal. Let's drop down to 0.61. Until we try and turn it on with that on. Okay, so it looks like it's turned on. Is it going to boot any further? Okay, the amp draw has dropped down to 0.17. The screen is still on, but we have nothing on the screen now. 0.79, so it's gone back up. So it's fluctuating all over. It's gone up. It went up to 1 amp for a second there. I don't really know what it's supposed to be doing here. Still got the charge light. So what I think I might do then is I might just leave this to charge up for a bit and see if it does anything. Okay, it doesn't want to turn off. Okay, so it's gone up to a steady 1 amp charge. So I suppose I'm just going to leave this here to charge for a bit, see what happens. This might be one of the easiest fixes ever. So it's been about 20 minutes or so. I've left it to charge up. I've popped back every so often to have a look at the amp drawing. It seems to be sort of a bit all over the place, if I'm being honest. But we'll see whether it's made any difference, because that's just shot up to 3.53 amps there. And then drop straight back down to 0.21. So I'm going to get past that first screen now. Yes, it does look like it's going to freeze there. Okay, let's take this out. Let's see whether it does anything without it. It's got a light on, so it's still missing a backlight. Just don't know if I'm missing some buttons. Oh, okay. So we have a bit more. So we still have that loading screen, but we still have that weird garbled mess over the front. So it looks like it's trying to load. So I think there's a button on the right here, or the left-hand side here, that just says R that I've pressed, which I think is maybe reset. Okay, that was a bit further than it got before. Let's pop this open then and see if we can see anything. Maybe the battery's just really low and maybe does just need pushing along, so we might be able to then plug in our little device and help it along its way. So it looks like the back is just a bunch of Phillips crosshead screws here. So no idea about these devices, so if anyone knows anything about them, please let me know in the comments below. They look quite cool. I'm guessing they emulate games. Okay, quite deep there, so I might just need to get a different screwdriver for those bottom ones. Okay, so I don't think this will reach down there. No. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'll just pop back, get a different screwdriver for those bottom ones. Okay, so I think I got one. I think this one looks like it'll work. There we go. And that back just pops up, and we just disconnect the battery here. Just that white cable. So it's hard to tell. I don't know if that looks like it's puffed up at all. But what does it say? 3.7 volts, 3,500 milliamp hours. We'll just have a look at this board quickly, see if there's anything that stands out. A couple of ribbon cables here that may be not seated correctly. There's one here, just looks slightly off to the side. This one here is also not very straight either, but I don't think that's an issue because it has turned on. Looks like, oh yeah, so there's the speaker cable here. Wonder what this thing is. No idea what that is. And then just the 4 buttons on the back here that obviously just line up with these little triggers on the back. Beyond that, I wouldn't say I really see anything that stands out. Held in with just 2 screws here. But before we kick anything off, let's just have a look at this battery then and just see if it's got any voltage in it. Because maybe just the battery's really low. It's trying to prevent it from booting to protect it. So, get my multimeter here. Get my little probes. And we'll see if what voltage is in this battery. 3.57. So it's a 3.7 volt battery. That is quite low. I think you'd expect this battery to be about maybe 4.2 if it's full. So I'm just going to try charge the battery to begin with and see if it makes a difference. It looked like it was charging when it was in, but I'm just unsure as to whether it's actually charging properly. So what I'll do is I'll get my little device again, that sort of spaghetti of wires, and we'll just try put it straight in, see if it does anything. So we've got our power bank here. It's showing quite low, but I think I've got a plug down the back there that I might be able to plug into. We'll get our little device and we'll use our needly probes again, and might just have to hold it in place. So I'll plug this in. There it is. Put this on this side for you guys to see. So I believe it's got a blue light. It's not charging. If it's got a flashing red light, shows an error, which makes sense because there's no battery attached to it. But we'll just try and get this in place, and hopefully might be able to get some charge into this and might just work. So, oh, looks like we just don't have a very good connection. So you should be able to see there's a red light. That means it's charging. So I'm just going to hold this for a bit, see what happens. What the voltage on this is now. Put this over here. Get my multimeter back. We'll go back into voltage DC and see what it says, because I know that these batteries have got BMCs, or battery management chips or controllers in them that sort of try to protect them. If it gets too low, it stops it from charging. And maybe this one, the board is trying to protect it. I don't think I've got a good connection there. Okay, why is that showing nothing now? Okay, 3.54 volts. So it's getting there, it's a bit closer. We'll see if we can get any more into this. So I'll keep charging it for a bit more. See what happens. Try and get it to a point where it's fully charged and try again. Okay, it's gone on a bit longer. Let's see if we've got any difference there at all. So it was on 3.54 before. Let's see how much difference that's made. .55, so it's charging just very slowly. So what I might do then is plug it back into the charger, leave it for a bit longer, into the actual board and see if it goes up any more than 3.55. Okay, so I plug the battery back in. We'll test it to begin with just once, see if it does anything different. No, it still gives us that garbled mess on the screen. We'll just turn it off. Well, it should turn itself off, there it is. So what I'll do is I'll plug it into the USB-C charger again, and we'll measure the battery and see if it's going up. Okay, DC in is there. Okay, so that is charging. Then what we should be able to do is use our multimeter here and see whether it is charging on the board. .79. Doesn't look like it's climbing, does it? So I'm thinking it's just got a low. Oh no, 3.8, it's gone up. So it's going up very slowly. So I reckon I'm just going to leave this for a bit longer still and see if it does anything different. See if we can get it to the point where it's fully charged. So I'll pause the camera again here and we'll come back a little bit and see if that red light has gone off. You can't quite see it, but it's still on just there. See if we can get that off and see what's happening. The amp draw is a bit more healthy now at 1.52, so it feels like it's charging a bit better. But next time we see this, it should have to be fully charged. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I've left it a while now. I'm back. The light's not gone off yet, but it's been a fair amount of time. So we're just going to see what happens now. See if it charges up a bit. So I'll unplug the USB ammeter there and we'll try turn it on now. Okay, so it gives us the screen. That's better than we had before. Let's see if it loads up. Because before, obviously, it used to just have that weird voltage image. See if it does anything. Okay, just sits on this black screen. Just give it a bit just in case it needs to boot, see if it does anything. Whilst I was waiting, oh, okay, it's giving us a new screen. Looks like Arc OS 2.0, so looks like it's loading up the looks like it seems to be loading up the operating system. So we'll see what happens. We'll just give it a moment. So far it looks like this one just needed a bit of extra charge. Okay, it's now flicked and moved across the screen. Now I don't know what this is supposed to, so I don't know if this is right or not. Seems a bit strange. Whilst this is loading up, doing what it's doing, I'm just going to see if the internet says anything about it. Okay, so it looks like it's just flashed back to that weird flashing thing at the top left. Okay, so I've done a bit of searching around on the internet here, and what looks like might be the issue here is that a lot of what's coming up is they're saying that the stock SD cards that come with this, so there's one here and one here, they're saying are usually not very good. So it could be that the SD card is corrupt or broken. So I've just reset it. We'll see if it works. If it works this time, then maybe it just needed a bit of time. But if it doesn't work, what I'll do is I'll take the SD card over to the computer, plug it in and see if it recognises it, because it could be that the SD card's gone corrupt. It might just need a new SD card. I'll have to have a look around here if that's the case, because I don't know if I have any of those size SD cards just knocking around. So I might have to buy one in to try it out. But if not, if I can get it to a working computer, it might just need maybe reflashing. So we'll see if it does anything. It looks like maybe it's going to get stuck on this screen again, but we'll give it a bit longer. If not, as I say, I'll take those SD cards over to the computer and see what they do. Okay, this doesn't look like it's going to work, does it? So I'll plug into the computer and see what happens. Okay, so a bit of time has passed. You can probably tell the lighting's a bit different here, but I've done a bit of research, and most of what everything is saying is the operating system is probably a bit corrupt. They're saying that the SD card that comes with these, which plugs in on this side, is not very good. So what I've done is I've grabbed an SD card from just around the house and flashed the operating system onto it, and we'll see whether that fixes anything. So I've just got it on this card here, just a little SanDisk thing that I pulled out of another device in the house. So we'll plug it in and see if it makes any difference. Oh. So we had a different screen there. Back to this strange loading screen again. And from what the internet said is it is likely going to run through a few different screens on the load up as it sets it up, but so far it looks like it's fixed. Just hope it gets past this screen now. So I believe what it's doing here is it's sorting out the rest of the partitions on the device. So I think at this point we just leave it for a bit and hopefully all is sorted. So we'll probably just fast forward through this bit as it goes through. So it just says the system will now reboot and load ArcOS. So this looks like a success. Okay, this looks like it's all loaded up now. So I believe there's a last few things that need to be done in the settings, which I'll do off camera, but this looks like a fix. So lottery fix number 1 complete. Just required the battery to be charged up a bit and the operating system to be reset. So if anyone in the future has that issue where it just has those lines, just stick it on charge for a bit longer. And then if it does that strange boot loop, probably just needs to get a new SD card and replace the operating system. Excellent.